SATV News. This is Charlotte Bint Shafi with the headlines. Multiple proposals in pipeline if July Charter not agreed, says Ali Riaz Consensus Commission to submit final report soon. BNP stresses fair February polls as key to restoring democracy, talks with UN delegation. Tribunal set to start initial probe against Awami League as a party, charges pressed against Hanif and 3 others. Now in details, NCC Vice Chairperson Professor Ali Riaz said on Sunday that the Commission will submit several proposals to the government on implementing the July National Charter 2025 in political parties failed to reach a consensus. If the political parties cannot come to an agreement on how to implement the July Charter, the Commission will make more than one proposal before the interim government, he said while chairing the dialogue between the NCC and political parties in the capital. The discussion held at 11:45 a.m. at the Foreign Service Academy aimed to determine the process for implementing the July National Charter 2025, particularly the constitution-related reform recommendations. In a high-level meeting with UN Resident Coordinator Gwen Louise, BNP Standing Committee member Amir Khosru Mohammad Chaudhry emphasized that restoring democratic order in Bangladesh hinges on holding credible and inclusive national election in February. There was an extensive discussion on the current political situation in Bangladesh, the upcoming elections, and our collective democratic future, Khosru said after the meeting at the BNP chairperson's office in Gulshan. Bangladesh Jamaat-e-Islami has demanded that a national referendum be held before next year's parliamentary election to give legal basis to the implementation of the July Charter. Jamaat's Assistant Secretary General Hamidur Rahman Azad said that all political parties, including the BNP, agree on holding a referendum to give the July Charter a legal foundation. However, Jamaat wants the referendum to be held before the national polls. He made the statement today while speaking to journalists during a break as discussions between National Consensus Commission and political parties are underway over the method of implementing the July Charter. Home Affairs Advisor Jahangir Alam Chaudhry today said law enforcement agencies have successfully foiled an attempt by fascists and their collaborators to incite communal unrest during Durga Puja celebrations. Fascists and their collaborators tried to create communal tension by drawing beards on faces of idols at some mandaps. That conspiracy has been thwarted, he said. Watchful vigilance, prompt action by security forces and cooperation from public and local puja committee members helped thwart the plot, he said while speaking to reporters after the weekly meeting of the Core Committee on Law and Order at the Secretariat. When asked how many puja altars were targeted, he said 793 reported that beards had been drawn on the faces of the idols. Bangladesh's immediate challenge is mobilizing finance to protect vulnerable communities through adaptations and loss and damage measures, Environment Advisor Saida Rizwana Hassan said today. She highlighted the country's key climate priorities ahead of global negotiations in a meeting with the ambassadors of Denmark, Norway, Sweden at the Bangladesh Secretariat. Rizwana called for greater adaptation support, the operationalization of the Loss and Damage Fund, and a just transition across the key sectors. Referring to the water crisis in coastal areas caused by salinity intrusion, she proposed community-based rainwater harvesting as a cost-effective solution to ensure safe drinking water during the dry season. She urged development partners to support such innovative and bankable resilience projects. National Security Advisor and High Representative for the Rohingya issue Khalilur Rahman has requested Assistant U.S. Trade Representative Brendan Lynch to consider further reduction in tariffs as the trade gap becomes narrower between the two countries. Khalilur made the request at a meeting with Lynch in Washington, D.C. on Friday, according to a message received in Dhaka yesterday. During the meeting, they also discussed follow-up actions regarding the recently concluded tariff negotiations, while Khalilur reiterated Bangladesh's commitment to reduce the trade gap with the U.S. The International Crimes Tribunal is set to begin a primary investigation against the Awami League as a political party for its alleged involvement in crimes against humanity, Chief Prosecutor Muhammad Tajul Islam said today. He made the remarks while addressing reporters after today's proceedings of International Crimes Tribunal 2. Recently, while speaking at an event in Borisha, law advisor Asim Nuzrul said, when the activities of a political party are banned, questions arise whether the ban is temporary or permanent. I do not see any possibility of the ban on the Awami League being lifted, not before the election nor in the foreseeable future. Responding to a question from journalists regarding the law advisor's comments, Tajul Islam said, we have already received a complaint from a political party named Nationalist Democratic Movement which accused the Awami League of committing crimes against humanity as an organization. The prosecution today submitted formal charges before the International Crimes Tribunal 2 against Awami League Joint General Secretary Mahbubul Alam Hanif and 3 others in a case of crimes against humanity over killing of 6 people in Kushtia during the July uprising. The tribunal fixed Monday to decide whether to take the charges into cognizance and issue arrest warrants against the accused. Prosecutor Mizanul Islam pressed the charges that includes 3 specific allegations against Hanif and 3 accused are Zila Parishad Chairman Shodruddin Khan, District Awami League General Secretary Asghar Ali and Shodor Upajala Chairman Ataur Rahman Ata. All of the accused are currently on the run. Campaigning for the Rajshahi University Central Students Union Rakshu Senate Student Representative and Hall and Shongshod elections has officially resumed following the Durga Puja holidays. Candidates began their promotional activities across various campus locations this morning. However, campaigners noted that while classes and examinations have restarted, majority of the students have not yet returned to campus, resulting in a somewhat subdued start to the election drive. How student leaders react to Rakshu Post rescheduling. They anticipate a full-fledged campaign will kick off within the next 2 days. Viewers, we are taking a short break. Please stay with us.
Explore the magnificent view of Rangpur. 5-star facilities, rich chain hotel, Grand Palace. Relax in spacious rooms and suites. Enjoy local and international cuisines. Banquet and conference room. Helipad. Gymnasium. Beauty salon, restaurants and bar, cafe lounge, experience luxury at Grand Palace, Rangpur.
Welcome back. You're watching SATV News. The number of students confirmed dead after the collapse of an Islamic boarding school building in Indonesia rose to 36 from 16 a day earlier, the country's disaster mitigation agency said on Sunday. Efforts continued for a 7-day to search for the bodies of 27 students still declared missing, mostly teenage boys from the ages of 13 to 19, trapped under the rubble, the agency said. Cranes were deployed to excavate debris and search and excavation efforts were 60% complete according to the agency, which said it expected to clear all debris and finish the search on Monday. The Al-Khuzani school in the town of Sidoarjo in East Java province caved in last Monday, collapsing on top of hundreds of teenage students during afternoon prayers. Its foundations At least 11 people were killed and one remains missing after landslides triggered by heavy rainfall struck 2 villages in eastern Nepal today, officials said. 6 members of a single family died when a landslide buried their home as they slept, while 5 others were killed in a neighboring village, said Bholanath Guragai, Assistant Administrative Officer of Lam District. Rescue operations are ongoing through continuous rain and blocked roads have made access difficult. Authorities said several other villagers also have been affected, with helicopters requested for emergency evacuations. Nepal's government issued a severe rainfall warning for the eastern and central regions through yesterday, closing highways and grounding all domestic flights on Saturday due to poor visibility. Hundreds of thousands of people marched through central Rome on Saturday for the 4th straight day of the protest in Italy since Israel intercepted an international flotilla trying to deliver aid to Gaza and detained its activities. I'm here with a lot of other friends because I think it is important for us all to mobilize individually, says Francesco, a 65-year-old musician from Rome. If we all don't all mobilize, when nothing will change. The protest in bright sunshine was peaceful, with students, children and elderly attending. It also featured at least one banner hailing Hamas' October 7th attack on Israel and anti-Israeli chants. London police arrested hundreds of protesters for supporting a banned pro-Palestinian group at a demonstration on Saturday, which went ahead despite requests to call it over after a deadly attack at a synagogue in Manchester. 2 people were killed in the attack in the northwestern English city on Thursday, and police shot dead the assailant, a British man of Syrian descent who counter-terrorism, police said, may have been inspired by extremist Islamist ideologies. Organizers refused requests by the police and government to call off Saturday's demonstration, which had been announced before the attack, to the protest against the banning of pro-Palestinian group Palestine action under anti-terrorism laws. U.S. Border Patrol personnel shot an armed woman in Chicago on Saturday, the Department of Homeland Security said, as scores of protesters faced off against federal immigration agents on the city's southwest side. No law enforcement officers were seriously injured in the incident, in which a group that included the women rammed cars into vehicles used by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, a DHS spokesman said in a statement. The woman, a U.S. citizen who was not identified, drove herself to the hospital, according to the statement. No additional information was immediately available about the women's condition. ICE agents fired pepper spray and loaded rubber bullets as a part of heated exchanges with protesters on Saturday. Stargazers are in for a treat for Monday night, as the year's first supermoon is set to appear slightly larger and brighter in the night sky. October's supermoon marks the first of the three this year. The phenomenon occurs when a full moon reaches its closest point to Earth in the orbit, making it appear up to 14% bigger and 30% brighter than the faintest moon of the year, according to NASA. Although it's a noticeable celestial event, the astronomers say the change is subtle. It's not really very unusual, said Derek Pitts, chief astronomer at the Franklin Institute in Philadelphia. A supermoon can be seen anywhere in the world without special equipment, weather permitting. However, the difference in size is easier to appreciate when compared with a regular full moon in preceding nights. Before ending, we go through the headlines again. You are updated with our top stories so far here on SATV, and to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.